you so much. It has been crazy not to see one another for almost a month now. A little moment to reflect on never taking that time for granted, for sure. So thank you for joining me virtually. You may have noticed I have acquired more foliage in the house. We have a lot of plants and we moved a lot of them indoors, so they will be joining me today, and I hope that you are well as we go through a gentle yoga flow with one another today. Go ahead and bring the soles of your feet together to touch, and we'll start class today in our bound ankle pose. You'll gently hold on to your ankles and get any wiggles that you need to get out. And we'll find a moment of stillness, chin in towards the chest. As we arrive to our sacred practice space, may you find your meditative state. Breathing slowly in and out through the nose in your practice today, you'll take your hands and go ahead and lightly knead your thighs and your legs. Your calves, you can take a few squeezes. You're massaging your legs and you're checking in with them. Seeing where you're tight or where you're the most tight of all the places on your legs. A lot less human interaction, and so in lieu of getting a pedicure or getting a massage, we are going to tap in a little bit more to giving yourself a squeeze. We're building on. So you'll keep your left leg like this, and you will extend your right leg out nice and long. So right foot long, you'll take your hand, you'll lightly start to squeeze the top of your thighs. Maybe if your calves, if you can reach. As you start to fold a bit, you are also getting to unclench some things. If you're unsure, just keep squeezing and kneading until you feel a bit more of a release. Janu Shirshasana. Let's fold forward. Nice gentle yoga to slow down the body and mind. Let's switch sides. Left leg will extend out long, right sole of the foot into your calf, your thigh, whatever feels good for you. You're allowed to change your mind. Breathe in, reach forward. Then as you exhale, let's take our fold. Squeeze what you like. Run the hands down the legs. Gentle and easy as you check in. We'll hold here. Stillness. Count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sit tall, legs nice and long. Go ahead and flex the toes towards you. Sweep the arms overhead. Big inhale. As you breathe out, reach for the toes. We take our forward fold. You are welcome to widen your stance. Kisa, my pregnant mamas, make room for baby, and then we take our forward fold. Gentle with the low back, as we have been spending so much time seated, longer times in bed, and being stagnant. And so be very gentle throughout our movement today. I encourage staying warm, whether that means wearing warm clothes or turning on the heater, or right after cooking dinner and your house is really warm, that's a good time to practice so that the muscles are a bit more limber. Let's go ahead and come into a high plank pose. You'll sit up tall, swivel the legs around. I'll meet you in high plank, you'll take a breath in onto the toes, low plank as you exhale. Upward facing dog, breath is in, so slow. Downward facing dog as you breathe out. Pedal out the heels, down dogs, look to the belly. We're taking 3 more rounds of breath here in downward facing dog. Any wiggles are always encouraged. Be proud of your discipline of arriving onto the mat. These are proud down dogs, chest nice and wide. Go ahead and lift your right leg high up to the sky, 3-legged dog. You're going to step your right leg through between the hands. You're going to set your left knee down on the floor. Crescent pose on the knee. Settle in for success. Any movement you might need. I'll be taking with the toe untucked. So top of the foot presses into the floor. Arms sweep overhead. Anjaneyasana. Let's build on, look up towards the sky, and hold. Add in your back bend, flare the ribs open, start to look behind you. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Eyes towards the center of the mat. Lightly airplane your hands behind you. Look down towards your foot. Think of this as a core pose. Really tight belly. Just the hands reach forward. Take a breath in. Airplane the arms. Exhale. Reach forward. Breathe in. Airplane. Exhale. All the way up. Crescents. Let's go ahead and tuck your back toe. Lift your left knee off of the floor. Full crescent pose. Anjaneyasana. Left foot steps up to meet the right. I'll see you in your mountain pose. Breathe in. Back bend as you exhale. Back to mountain. Breathe in. Uttanasana. Forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Plant the palms, step back to high plank. Let's flow. From your low plank, take upward facing dog. Breath is in. Use your fingertips. Downward facing dog as you exhale. Grateful to feel active today. Use your strong pranayama. Inhale. Left leg nice and high. Exhale. Footsteps through. Right knee drops down to the floor. Back toe untucks. Arms sweep overhead. When you're ready for it, I'll meet you here. Crescent. We start to stretch the belly. If you aren't dizzy, you're looking up. If you are dizzy, find a focal point, something right in front of you that's not going to move on you. Not another person, not your pupper. Add in your back bend. 3, 2, and 1. Back to center we go. Arms sweep overhead. Exhale to airplane. Check out your knee. How's it doing? Let's build on. Hands reach forward. Breathe in. Airplane. Keep pressing into the foot. Twice more. Arms sweep overhead. Find your crescents. You'll tuck your back toe. I always need to lean forward a bit. I'll meet you in crescent pose. Do your best. Use your hands if you need them. Give yourself permission. Step into your mountain pose. Right foot meets your left. We rise, breathe in. Back bend, exhale. Back to center. Yes, I can touch my ceiling. Exhale to forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Plant the palms. This is your option to flow. We will be meeting in upward facing dog and hanging out there. Hips drop down to the floor. Take your fists instead if you need them. Freeform movement. So I like to look over either shoulder, stretching the belly, stretching the neck. This should feel good. Then you'll stay in upward facing dog. Toes are untucked. Chin lightly lifts, but the back of your neck is super long. Not all crunched up. Keep your knees on the floor. Widen your stance. Child's pose. I'll be taking child's pose with a block. If you have a block, I highly suggest using it instead of forcing your head to the floor. Just use your prop to bring the floor closer to you. All of our worries, we breathe them out. Open mouth exhales. I'll be meeting you in hero's pose to stretch the soles of the feet and to chat with you a little bit. So you'll tuck your toes and take a seat. And when you need to come out of this, you know what to do. But try to stay with me as we stretch the soles. And you take a few rounds of breath. And remember that the routine and the discipline of this yoga practice is so incredibly helpful in times of strong emotions, whatever they might be during this time. We are in confined spaces, but we need to make space for these big emotions and these big shifts. And the best way to make space to hold these things is to make space in your physical body, which means stretching and opening up. And when we feel closed off, everything else aligns with being closed off. That body and mind connection is so real. And we have to remember that when the physical body is closed off, other things are going to align that way. Bravo for having your toes tucked. Go ahead and untuck them. Find hero's pose. We're going to take one-legged hero. So your full expression is going to be your right leg out in front of you. You're sitting on everything and your left knee is bent. If you need a little assistance, I would sit on top of a block. You can sit on top of your heel, or go ahead and grab one of your couch cushions. I'm serious, like take the cushion off of your couch and use it for all of its lovely purposes, and we'll hang out here. If you love this pose and you're doing a social media scroll, go ahead and do this pose for 2 to 3 minutes on each side. You can put your device on the floor or towards your foot, and we hang out. This is our fixed firm, if you will. Let's say you needed something different. Lean back, drop your elbows down to the floor, walk your hands behind you. This is your yoga. We breathe. To release the pose, we'll extend both legs out nice and long. Take any wiggles that you might need. Breath out, chin can round in towards the chest. and then we switch out the legs. As you see fit, you should have full circulation in that leg that we just played with. Your low back is feeling okay. We're switching sides. You'll take your calf, lightly pulling it off to the side, but there's no pain in your knee. There's no pain in your ankle. Go ahead and take a seat on what you can. Knees point to the front. This knee should not lift. Inhales to sit up, and exhales to fold over the leg if that is in your range of motion. Where can you soften in this pose? Unclench your thigh, your calf, your knee, your jaw, your belly, your forehead, your face. We still have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release whatever fold, recline you have taken. Release this leg, stick it out in front of you, recirculate as needed. We take a forward fold as you reach for the toes, head in. You'll sit up nice and tall. I'd love to take a flow in between. So crisscross at the ankles, meet me in high plank. Take a breath in. Low plank as you exhale. Upward facing dog when you breathe in. Exhale. Downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Drop down to the knees. Let's take deer pose. Perhaps you remember this pose. You'll swivel your legs off to one side. So your front leg is going to be in pigeon, and then your side leg is going to point at the direction of the wall. So my knee is to the east right now. So when I switch sides, it'll be pointing the other way. Having your knee on the floor doesn't feel amazing. You are worth those few seconds to grab a blanket, or if you're practicing on carpet. Up next, you're going to go ahead and take your twist over towards the leg. Expectant mamas, I would just stay right here, sitting up nice and tall. You can also do like chin in towards the chest. You're getting a stretch right here, that's plenty. Probably no room for baby once you get around here. Then we're heading down to the floor. So forehead down to the mat. Some of you are able to lay all the way down. Let's breathe. This is deer. If you have to hold your breath to stay in the pose, then it's a good indicator that it's time to come out. As we make our breath our priority, that's how we're going to purify and detoxify all of this hard work we're putting into our stretches. We're going to ease our way out of this one. Nice relaxed stomach. This is great for our digestion. We'll spend some time with the legs in the middle. Take what you need. Any wiggles, any folds, any flows. You've got time for a sun salutation if you needed one in between. We get ready to switch sides. You know what to do as you mimic the pose we took before. Front legs in pigeon, back knee takes a rest. Start by sitting up tall. We're in no rush. We did not come to yoga to rush and get it over with. Right here in the present moment, let's breathe. As you strive for symmetry on this side, may you go as deeply as you did on your east, right? Now I'm pointed to the west. I will take my turn, breathe in. As you exhale, lowering on down. You've got legs and feet to relax. You've got a jaw to let go of. Unclench your fists. Breathe. Gentle reminders when the mind starts to wander. Breathe. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gentle, light. Come out of the pose. Swivel both legs out in front of you. Give them a shake. Let's take our reverse tabletop. Walk your hands behind you. Come onto the soles of your feet. Breath in to rise. Hips up to the sky. Eyes up to the sky. Squeeze the legs in. Still here. Three, 2, and 1. Release yourself on down. We're gonna rock and roll onto the spine. I'm gonna face a different direction. You can stay where you are. Rock and roll. Enjoy the nice massage in your spine. You'll bring your soles of the feet onto the floor once you find your back. Nice and easy. Head reclines to the floor. You're going to bring your knees in together to touch. Walk your feet to the outside edges of the mat. And we're going to focus on your upper body. By picking up your head, tuck your chin in towards the chest. You can set it back down. You can tuck in the shoulder blades. So pressing into your head to lift your shoulders off. Kind of scoop your shoulder blades in. Kind of like in Shavasana when you get an adjustment. Palm turns up. You're flaring the arms out nice and wide. And then you will press into the soles of the feet to really press your low back into the floor. As you breathe out, you will drop both knees down to one side. We windshield wiper and hold. To center we go. Inhale, knees back to touch. Lift, meet in the middle. Exhale, drop both knees down to one side. Back to center we go. Inhale, knees will rise. Let's take plow. What you can do is start with legs up the wall. If you're ready to take your journey into the full expression, a little rock and roll will get you there. Feet will reach up and overhead. Your hands will start to reach for your toes. You're able to connect. We'll be hanging out. You are one somersault away from coming out of the pose if you need it. Enjoy your plow. Breathe life into your plow. Trust the shoulders. Nice open channel of communication in the throat. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So gentle. Roll out of the pose. Bring the soles of your feet together. Butterfly the legs open. We find stillness. We must check in with the low back before we proceed. Go ahead and bring your knees together to touch. Press into the feet, roll your hips off the mat, and up and down you go as you take a few bridge-like rolls. And then you'll hug your knees in towards your chest, forehead in towards your knees. How's the low back doing? We're going to be taking a supported bridge. So if you have a bolster, a couch cushion, or a block, you're slipping your block underneath your backside. Extend your legs out nice and long. You're letting your hips open like a book. Feet flare open. Kick my little plant. Palms turn face up. Join me here. If you love this pose, you can take it for up to 5 minutes at a time, 10 minutes at a time, but then you have to spend some time on your back in Shavasana after, just to be sure that the low back feels okay. It's a nice counter pose once we're finished here. Relax the stomach, off you go. Let's safely come out. Press into the soles of the feet. Slide that block out from underneath you. And bring one knee into your chest. Wind removing pose. Switch out the sides. Squeeze the other leg in. Happy baby. Soles of the feet reach nice and high. And if your head doesn't reach the floor when you take happy baby, what you can do is take your pillow or your block and slip it underneath your head so that when you reach for your feet, you're able to focus on other things because your head has something to rest on. This is a great way to modify. Be grateful that you've taken time to unlock your body as you flare the legs open. Last 5 breaths in happy baby. happy baby. Get your blocks out of the way. Give yourself a tight squeeze in Apanasana. Thank yourself for your discipline and hard work. As you burst open, find your comfortable Shavasana. Awaken from your Shavasana. I'll meet you in a full body stretch. Arm sweep overhead. Open mouth. And roll into a fetal pose on one side. Bring your hands onto the floor. Guide yourself into a seat. Go ahead and lift. I'll see you in crisscross legs, Sukhasana. Hands come to heart center. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. As you go through your list of gratitude, honoring what comes to you each day, as you are grateful for your health, to be able to spend this time with one another on the mat, and to honor our vessel the best way that we know how, which is with our dedicated yoga practice. Thank you for joining me. Bring your hands up to the forehead as the light and teacher in me is honored to guide the light and teacher in you. Namaste. Thank you, Omis. It's a pleasure to practice with you. I hope all is well, and kudos to us for carving out some time on the mat. For no one regrets going to yoga. So have a wonderful day.